Hi, Calaveras County. It's Morgan Gache with the Calaveras County Chamber of Commerce. And I am here with the famous Laurie Giannini from the Fairgrounds. And yes, I don't believe there's a single person in Calaveras County who does not know Laurie. This is my new person perspective, but if there is someone who does not know her, this is Laurie. For that one person, this is Laurie. Thank
You're
you,
funny.
Laurie, so much for joining me this afternoon. I'm so excited that we get to kind of highlight a little bit, because it feels like the fair's had some rough times here, and moving forward, you know, we're used to this time period right now. This is being like go time, and things have changed a little bit for you. Yeah. So I definitely want to give you some time to share about things that you're focused on and what you're looking forward to and staying positive about. But talk to me a little bit about your mindset when you had to make that decision, and when it was officially stated that the fair would be canceled for this year.
So we had the first order we had, where there was the 250 limit of gathering. We had to go through and move some of our March events to the fall. And so that was pretty much all we were thinking. And I was just saying, hey, we're not going to cancel the fair. If we use this strategy that our governor has set forth, this distancing, hopefully the strategy will work and we're going to have the fair. So that was kind of our mantra. That was our, we were constantly telling people, okay, well, we had to do this, but we're still going to do this. And we had to do this and we're still going to do that. So, however, at the same time, I would not be doing my job if I start thinking about backup plans. Like, what would we do with all the animals? What would we, how could we keep our community, still keep them engaged? And what was that going to look like financially for us? So early on, we started working with the Department of Food and Ag and just seeing what our options would be with the market animal side of things. But that being said, it was just a super, super hard thing. I mean, we've had rain fairs, we've had other things happen, but this was just really difficult, because not only is it a loss to the fairgrounds, it's going to be about with the canceled events. And through the month of May, we're looking at about a $300,000 loss to the fairgrounds. But it's a $5.2 million loss to the community in spending activity. So the board did not take that lightly. I mean, that's huge, and not only for Calaveras County, but also for our partners, our carnival, our food vendors. Angels Murphy's Arnold Boosters, the athletic club, who does the parking, they make $9,000 to $10,000 on that a year. So that's $10,000 that's not going to go to youth sports. There's a church who does cleanup that pays for church camps. That's $2,500 they usually make. So if you start looking at all of the local vendors, and not only the local vendors, our other partners, it's really just a big picture. And I'm so glad we've been able to figure out something for the livestock kids, because from the beginning, we knew that the auction had somewhat of an exemption, because those products need to get into the food chain. So we knew that, there was some law written there, but so it has been really difficult. But, Dr. Kaleda sent me a letter, I guess it was April 7th. And he said, you just can't do it. Basically, you can't have a fair. It's too dangerous. It's not the smart thing to do. So after getting that information from public health, knowing that the stay-at-home order was going to probably extend into May, our board voted on April 7th to not have the Calaveras County Fair. Yeah. So, And then it was a very difficult conversation to have with sponsors, vendors, and, for my staff, when they've worked at something for 11 months and, it's not happening, all our kids, the fair is much bigger than just livestock. And so trying to keep all of our kids engaged and all of our families engaged has been a goal of ours. So that's where we got to hear.
Yeah. Well, so on the upside of that, you have been really creative and working really hard to still bring parts of the fair to our community. So can you talk a little bit about that?
So some things we decided to do in April, we started actually just to get people, a lot of moms are at home working from home, have kids at home that are distance learning. So we did some virtual competitions early on that were just, kind of a pre-fair competition. And then once we canceled the fair, we decided to go on with those virtual competitions. So we have right now currently running, if you drew it or sewed it, you should show it. And that's like arts and crafts for K-6. We have a virtual Calaveras Idol competition. We have the cute bunny competition, the proud puppy competition, frog jump photo competition, our COVID-19 essay competition, which some of those essays have been just amazing. And we're putting together a virtual kitty parade that we will, our annual kitty parade is always the Thursday of fair. So what I've done this year is asked our folks to send in pictures, dress your kids up, do whatever you want. Then we're going to put them all together and put them to music and release that on May 14th when the kitty parade would have happened. So those are some of the things we're doing. Yeah. So that's where we're at.
Special.
Yeah, so it's been great. Go ahead.
Oh, is there a way that the public can join in and participate with some of the competitions that are going?
Oh, yeah. You just, if you go to our Facebook page, you'll find them all there. Okay. And you can just call the office, but they're all, with the exception of the Calaveras Idol, they're open. They're not just Calaveras County. So.
Okay.
And some of our other programs like Miss Calaveras Saddle Queen, we're going to have in October when we have our hometown hoedown. So we're excited about that.
Well, this is a good time because I definitely want to talk about that, and I am super excited for that. So why don't you share kind of the vision and where it came from and what we have to look forward to?
So the vision was to take some elements of the fair that are super important to the community. And, the livestock element we're taking care of. But the other things that are important to the community are Miss Calaveras, because that's such a tradition, the Saddle Queen competition, another tradition, elements of the frog jump. We thought, okay, what can we do just to bring those elements to the community and then add to that? And so we worked with our carnival operator, and so he's bringing the carnival in. And our favorite event is the Derby. So we have our Derby coming in, our Destruction Derby. So, and then we'll have what we're calling a Maker's Fair, which is kids who have made arts, crafts, want to show that stuff off. They can bring that also. And I'm thinking about throwing in a barn dance. It's all still in the planning stages. Honestly, we have a lot of it lined out, but, just waiting to see what things are going to look like too. So, but we're very, very excited. It is the same weekend as Lumberjack Days and the Grape Stomp, but we feel that we can work with both of those events and kind of just make it a destination weekend where people are just moving around doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's great. That's really awesome. Yeah. So Heidi actually just put the link to your site or actually your Facebook page, I should say. And
Mhm.
so people can go on there and follow it.
Great.
So I'd love for you to share just a little bit, since you expressed early on that when the decision was made to officially
Mhm.
cancel the fair, you understood the impact it has on so many different businesses in Calaveras and
Mhm.
outside of Calaveras. But
Mhm.
um, obviously, we have a special place here for Calaveras County. So
Mhm.
talk to me about a little bit from your heart what you're wanting to convey to business owners out there right now that are struggling. And obviously, we have so much in question right now about the upcoming months ahead. So
Mhm.
what do you know of that you are for sure about, and what can you encourage people in?
Here's the thing. And I said this when we released the announcement. I Calaveras County, we've been through fire and flood together, literally. And I don't, I really, from my heart, think that um, the county will be stronger on the other side of this, and that these businesses, I think because we're such a family, I think these businesses are going to do fine once we can open them up. I think people are going to really um, not take those things for granted. you
Yeah.
know um, you're so used to being able to do this at this place and do that at that place, and I think we won't take them for granted. And what I do know is I do know that this community is very strong and very dedicated. And I also know, you know, after the Butte fire, I thought, um, our livestock auction, I thought, oh gosh, what kind of livestock auction are we going to have? We just lost, 500 homes. I was serving on the task force for the county. So I knew pretty much what people were going through, and this was in the early stages, and there was no PG&E settlements or any of those things that happened later. People literally didn't have socks and underwear. I mean, so what kind of junior livestock auction are we going to have? What kind of fair? And I was really, really concerned. Well, that junior livestock auction, I think, was $670,000. It was the highest one we ever had.
Oh, wow.
And that was the year after the year of the fire. So I look at those things and I think, you know, um, this community has come through a lot, and they just really work together. Today, I was here on the facility, and there was some volunteers here, and they were. Yeah, I went up and helped move some things with my pickup to the fairgrounds, and they were putting together survival kits, I guess, for the homeless that
Oh,
are
okay.
in hotels that are sheltered in. And so, I was thinking, here's this, it's not a big thing, but it's the little things that make the big difference. And I think that's how our community is um, our residents, our people, they do a series of little things that change the lives of others. And I think that is what's going to happen through all of this. There's going to be just the little things that will make a big difference and end up changing the big things. It's just kind of putting one foot in front of the other. But I know that our community can do it. I really do. I'm confident of that. So.
Well, your positivity is definitely, and I should say your positivity and your gratefulness to the community has been seeping through with all the newsletters coming through from the fairgrounds. And
Mhm.
it feels like everyone you're reaching out and giving kudos to different industries and different people here in the community. And that's fantastic.
Mhm.
It helps when we have a bunch of cheerleaders, because some days it just feels like you're getting closed doors nonstop. And so even a
And it's
cheerleading like that.
important. Yeah, I really feel like, and my board feels like, it's really important that as the biggest event in the county and as kind of the epicenter in a lot of ways for things that happen in Calaveras County is at the fairgrounds, that we take the lead in a lot of ways of showing our appreciation, for extending grace, for saying, hey, you know what, teachers, you're doing a good job, because we're a county facility, just like the chamber is a county organization. At one time or another, everybody in Calaveras County ends up being our customer, whether they're here physically or they see our Facebook or they hop on our webpage, they end up being our customer. And so when we show our appreciation to our teachers, to our healthcare workers, to our business leaders like yourself, that is really coming from the heart, from the board and myself, because we know that those people working in grocery stores, people doing takeout at restaurants, they're making a difference every day.
Yes.
And and I guess, again, when I say that the community has been through fire and flood together, I've seen this. I've been on the um, I've been on the receiving end of kindness through devastation, when we were involved in the fire. And so I feel like I experienced firsthand what this community does and what they stand for. And definitely, I'm very proud to call it my home.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so beautiful. That your heart is definitely showing right now. And I want to highlight specifically today your
Uh-huh.
newsletter about shirts, commemorating
Oh,
the year of no fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the only other time in our history that we know of that we haven't had a fair was in 1933 during the Great Depression. And so, again, one of our local vendors, Black Diamond, they're from West Point. They do a wonderful job. They have the merchandise contract. So when we canceled the fair, we didn't want to do the fair logo because that just didn't feel right. And we were tossing around some other things. And then Mike Bowser, the owner, sent me a design, and it said Calaveras County Fair 2020, a leap of love. And I thought, you know what? That's exactly what it was, because the fair was postponed because it was necessary for the safety of our community. That's the only reason. And so if you break that down, it was for the love of the community that the fair was canceled. So that's what the shirt theme is. So it's just about a leap of love. And those are available. There's I sent out a link today, and there's and I think in our newsletter there's a link. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's in the comments from this live video. So make sure if
Oh,
you're
good.
watching this,
Great.
click on there and support both the Fairgrounds and Black Diamond Graphic. This is
Mhm.
a neat way for our community to come together, because this is definitely
Yeah.
a year for the books. A year for the
Mhm.
books.
Right.
Well, Laurie, any closing thoughts that you want to leave us with, and any anything you want to make sure to put on people's radar right now?
The junior livestock auction, of course, if you can support that in any way, and other things you can do. If you don't want to buy an animal, you can always call our office after the auction. The auction's May 17th. You can call our office and you can boost a child. You can say, hey, Lori, is there a child or a family that just didn't do so well? And you can add $20 or $30 or $40 to them. You can do that. So we would really like you to participate in that. Also, just in the spirit of the Calaveras County Fair, extend grace and extend kindness to your neighbor. That's what you can do for us.
Oh, I love that. It's such a
Oh,
pleasure getting to connect with Thank you for sharing. And
Oh,
my heart feels
great.
fuzzy right now. So thank you. It's
All
important
right.
for us. It's going to probably make, going through the week of fair a little easier
Mhm.
to swallow. So we'll make
Yeah,
sure to
yeah,
follow you there. If you're watching,
great.
please look in the comments. There's several links in there on how you can follow the fairgrounds, how you can get your t-shirt, how you can learn more about
Mhm.
Hometown Hoedown and the livestock option. So make sure you
Yeah,
check that out. Lori, it's a pleasure. I hope
yeah.
you have a wonderful weekend.
Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.